Joel Bitonio at the Browns Foundation golf outing today was talking about what he thinks the offensive identity of this Browns team will be based on what he's seen in the early going of these OTAs.
For me, it feels like a 2020-2021 install of the outside zone with power schemes mixed in, which I think is a strength of, what our line does. Obviously, we're a little bit older, but like Jack comes from that outside zone. Wyatt is one of the better pullers, power blockers in the league. Poe can kind of do it all, but I think it fits us so much better. And then for an O-line, you drop back 40, 50, 60 times a game, and that's still going to happen. You still have to pass the ball to win in this league. But if you can have a brand of I think the way we won in the past is our defense was fresh. Like the games that they play great, they play 50 or 60 snaps, not the 70 or 80 snaps a game. And so if we can control the ball and handle those things, I think it's a big step. But from the installs and from what I've seen, it's going back to what Coach Stefanski has been known for.
Lance, you and I talked. We couldn't tell you what the identity of last year's team was. So the fact that they have an idea of what it is now should be a little bit. I'm looking for positive signs. I view that as a positive.
Well, bringing their new O-line coach in Bloomberg, he's going to be great because Bloomgren is a Bill Callahan disciple from their time in with the New York Jets. So that tells you that's why I think Stefanski went out and got him. He's an elite guy in terms of X's and O's and being detailed, and he kind of brings that Callahan disciplinarian in, which I think those offensive linemen need. And I think those offensive linemen like that when the guy is in their face and kind of makes them work. And even though they're a little bit older, when you go back to what you do well, you have a better chance of being successful. And their identity with Kevin Stefanski is run game, power, weak side zone, take some shots off that play action, protect the football. When he's talking about the defense being fresh, when you run the ball, that clock runs a little bit, so you shorten the game. You put more pressure on the opposing offense. If you can get a long drive and get a score, then they have to pass. So it ties, that complementary football you and I have talked about for years. That's what that means. If they can get the run game going, that's what Stefanski likes. And that power run game wears down a defense, keeps the offense on the field, protects the quarterback, et cetera, et cetera. So hides the fact that they don't have elite depth at receiver, et cetera. So I think it's a promising thing. The hiring of him, the not getting a receiver, drafting Fannin, Stefanski calling plays, it all kinds of leads back to what Stefanski got the job in Cleveland for.